All right, I've been at work about 2.5 hours already. It's about a quarter after 7, taking a little break in my van, pondering the reality of existence while I watch a dragonfly buzz around the van. It's hot already. It's going to be a hot week. I always considered this a self-journey. And just the perspectives when you start analyzing people and their beliefs and what they believe, from their perspective, it almost has to be, because nothing else makes sense. And you can't start taking other advice besides for what you have rationalized with your brain, because everybody's going to give you a different opinion, and their opinions aren't opinions to them. They're truth ordained from God. I don't know. Anyway, I did have that dream. I wrote a post at the end of the dream. I don't really remember the dream itself, but at the end, credits rolled, and that's how I woke up. And I thought, boy, that's kind of weird. So if that signifies the end of a journey, maybe. If it's the end of a physical journey, I'm ready. I'm fine with that. If it's a spiritual, end of one era and into another, that's cool. I'd made a video on 3 things that's changed me. That's a little further back. There was a 4th, and I don't know if a 5th comes along, that'll be fine. I mean, maybe just pondering the credits rolling might be enough to can be considered a 5th event. I don't know. If I had to go by numbers, maybe at the end of the 7th event, then it'll be complete, since the number 7's always been a number of completion. But I don't know. I'll have to rationalize it out and make it my own decisions, not anybody else's. But I'll let you go while people are kind of piddling around. The Deaconess now has their own police department, which is kind of weird in itself. And they've been circling the block a few times. Maybe they don't like me sitting out in my van. Good morning. It's kind of early, and I've got a little bit of time, and I didn't feel like clocking in early, so I'm going to blab just a little bit. It won't be long, because I don't like to make these videos very long. But I did have breakfast with a friend over the weekend that just wanted to talk, and said she was kind of depressed, and we talked, and I think she was feeling better by the time we left. But I'd mentioned that the more I think about my surroundings, the more I feel like, man, this just isn't real. And she goes, I've heard that before. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? I'm like, well, that was a hard one to even try to get into, because you're like, well, I don't know. We're a spirit. If the spirit's beings, if we have guardian angels around us, we can't see them. Maybe something like that would be closer to a base reality than what we're currently living in. And that was really not kind of the gist of what I was feeling, but it was the only thing that come to my mind. But later, as I went through the day, I kept thinking about it, and I thought, there's probably a better explanation for the feeling that I have. And then I paused, like, the feeling that I have, the emotion, the feeling. Wait a minute. Now I can kiss my girl. And that moment that we're calling reality is gone in a split second. But if I experience that in a way that is a very emotional feeling type way, even probably the stronger you do it, the longer it lasts for you, that kiss that is gone in a second can last a lifetime. Maybe there's something closer to reality in thoughts and feelings and emotions than the physical existence of like this wall, you know? But anyway, I know it sounds crazy. Don't just like discard me and all the stuff that I come up with. I'm doing it for my own entertainment and thoughts. It's not that I don't ponder the possibility of this stuff, but I don't get bent out of shape if nobody believes me. Sometimes I don't believe myself. But anyway, I'll blab at you later. Bye. All right, just taking a little break out in my car. Been kind of busy, been a little ticky here and there today, but it's okay because I'm happy and that's all that matters. But I was going to share what I've been thinking about the last hour or so, just pondering the love that woman had that washed Jesus' feet with her tears and dried them with her hair. And Jesus was at this house, and I'll kind of paraphrase this, I don't have it in front of me. And the Pharisees looked and said, if he knew what manner of woman that was, he wouldn't let that woman touch him. And he kind of knew what was going on, so looked at them and said, hey, I come in your house, and you didn't greet me with a kiss, and she's done nothing but kiss my feet the whole time I've been here. And you didn't offer to wash my feet, and she's washed my feet with her tears and dried them with her hair. Then she anoints them with oil, and the Pharisees was saying, well, that oil is expensive. It should have went for charity. She could have gave that to the priests. They were wanting it for themselves. And he said, I'm telling you, this woman here, whose sins are many, he admitted that, are forgiven because she loves much. And then turned to her and said, go in peace. Your sins are forgiven for your love. And I'm not for sure I totally understand everything, or I'm not going to even try to interpret, her love versus the salvation. But man, to have the love of that woman, that's groovy, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, that's been on my mind, to have the love of that woman. You have a good day. Just sitting out in the van, enjoying the sunshine on a little break, pondering sympathy and sometimes the need that people have to feed off of a sympathetic vibe, for a lack of a better word. One of the greatest compliments I ever got was a thank you for being real. And I appreciate that. And I know hard times come, sorrow and pain, and sometimes we'll talk about them just to help us out. And there's a need in that. But I never want to get to a point where I'm feeding off of some sympathetic system of some kind to feed myself, but rather to magnify the good more than the bad. I mean, it's much more worthy to be praised than all this other garbage. So I'm going to praise the good days, and I will talk at you later. Bye. Good morning. Enjoying the day out in my van. Just taking a little break here, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about just the power of gratitude, and never underestimating that. And I really am grateful that I have a peace that passes all understanding. A few months ago, I done a video on 3 things that changed me, and one was just a few seconds of a song Ron Daly did over at his daughter's. Another was a story that I'd never told anybody else, and it's further down my wall. Another was an unfortunate event that made me realize that I'm different. And there was a 4th, and a 5th was the dream, a few videos down, of just realizing that the odds are always in my favor, overwhelmingly. So I'm humbled about that. So I am grateful for that peace that passes all understanding. I still have thoughts that kind of run away from me now, but I ignore them. That's just a part of reality to a degree, if you want to call it that. But they're very quiet. They're very soft. They're very in the background, almost like if you were at a resort and you're looking over the balcony and there's a little village in the bottom of this valley, and you're hearing the noise of this village. It's far enough away that it doesn't distract from the peace that you have at this time. So that's the way I feel. They're so far in the background that it doesn't really distract that from that peace. I know a lot of times we can make our surroundings real peaceful and get into that, paint our walls the color that science says they need to be to promote peace. But boy, you have real peace when you can have it right in the middle of chaos. And that's the way I'm feeling right now, and I'm grateful for it. But I'll talk to you later. There's probably more stuff I want to add, but I want to keep these videos fairly short. Y'all have a nice day. Bye. Just finishing up lunch and went out to my van to enjoy a little bit of fresh air. But I did have somebody ask me about the 5 things that changed me the last few months, and they're on my wall. And I was going to give a quick synopsis for their sake, but I don't know how to do it. The stories themselves are not really, if you say what's happened, you're like, well, how in the world did you get anything out of that? It's probably the emotion that was tied to it. First one was a song of a buddy that I love dearly, and I think it just evoked unconditional love. The second one was just a story that happened in school that I'd never told anybody, and I was always a little bit embarrassed about it, but that evoked extreme empathy and compassion. Another one was an unfortunate event that was a little bit embarrassing to me, but it made me kind of draw a line onto where I stand. Is kind of like the line in the sand. A fourth was similar, but then the ties were broken. The fifth was a dream that I had, that in this dream, I don't remember the details, but in every aspect I was checking my odds, and the odds were always overwhelmingly in my favor. There may be a 6th and a 7th. Matter of fact, I think just over the weekend, I woke from a nap and there was a crest over my door, or on the door, completely covering the door. Probably something I dreamed that was still in my, occipital lobes or visual cortex, and just the image was on the door. Of course, if I moved my eyes to the wall, it was on the wall. It was just there, kind of like if you look at an image for long enough, it gets burned in your image. I don't know what that means, and I don't even know that I'd call that a 6th one. It was just a fascinating event, but it didn't tie the emotion that the others had. Each had a real strong emotion. So I guess I can send this to the person that requested if they don't want to look through and get more detailed stuff on my wall. But I'll talk at you later. Bye. All right. Kind of a rainy morning. Sometimes that makes me a little ticky, but that's okay. I'm feeling pretty good. And that might be a 6th event that I'll tell you about later, but I'm going to tell you a little story right now. I was working a retail store, and a lady comes in walking with a cane, both hands on her cane, right in the middle, and kind of like pushing it under her legs, putting a lot of weight on that cane. And it was a bariatric cane. She was a big gal, and the whole way in, she was saying, "Oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus," as she took every step. And her daughter comes in with her and says, "We just left the hospital, and they said Mom could die anytime, so we're going to buy her a chair." And the way she's they're acting, they sit down in a chair and I get them all situated and she's going on. It's getting me ticky because I think she's going to die right there in the store. So I start like kind of barking and saying F yeah every once in a while, and then I just have to explain to him. I said, listen, I have Tourette's. And then the lady that's sitting in the chair with the cane says, oh, it's so nice that Deaconess lets those kind of people work for him. And then the daughter got real defensive and like, Mom, and then looks at me real quick, said she didn't mean it. And the lady says, oh, yes, I did. It's nice that Deaconess lets people like you work for him. And then it kind of got me tickled. So I kind of had to tell him, I was like, yeah, when I started in the medical field some 20 years ago, I didn't have this. So I'm pretty sure it's the customers that started it all. So I'm going to tell you that story and I'll let you go. Bye. Good morning. Just taking a little break, walking around. Enjoyed my morning so far. Done a little song before work. And I know some of those songs aren't the greatest. I'm not the greatest singer by any stretch of the imagination, but I have loads of fun doing it. And I think that's the main thing. Somebody might say, oh, I'd love to color, but I color outside the lines. Who cares? If you enjoy coloring outside the lines, by all means, color outside the lines, but just have fun doing it. There's a lot of miserable people out there, and you might want to help them. But anything you say to try to help them is going to be returned with, but this, but that, but I can't, but you don't know this, you don't know that. But probably the biggest way to help them is to let them witness you having a blast at life and just having fun and enjoying yourself. Then they are going to start looking inward and try to figure some stuff out on their own, which is probably what they need to do. But anyway, I'll keep her short and talk at you later. Bye. Good morning. Just stepped outside for a little fresh air after cleaning some stuff here. Kind of enjoying the morning. I know at times, I've witnessed and have had depression in the past. Mine's been always high functioning. I could go to work and do what needs to be done, but it was more noticeable at home when I'd get home and not leave the house or not do things that need to be done. It's just I couldn't do it. But that doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. I know from a clinical side they'll say that kind of stuff goes in remission but don't go away, but I never did buy that. I don't think you're stuck with anything forever. That's just my opinion, and who knows, if anything else, then it'll be in remission until I die. But I feel pretty good now, and I kind of am reaping years of practicing conscious gratitude for the last few months. And I've done it for a really long time, and then it's become almost second nature to where I had to add on top of it a conscious awareness of the fact, or I started doing it so automatically that it didn't, in hindsight, it didn't feel like much. But then I just put that conscious effort behind it, and yeah, feel pretty good. So I'll talk at you later, maybe do another video if something pops on my mind that's interesting. Bye. Good morning. Just enjoying the morning, taking a little break. The last few nights I hadn't slept well, but I made up for it last night with a wonderful night's sleep and some awesomely amazing dreams. The contents of the dreams I don't really remember, but there was a common thread sewn through all of them. In those dreams, I would periodically check my advantage over any given situation, and it wasn't that I just had the odds in my favor. It was overwhelmingly in my favor, so much so that an immense peace was about all of those dreams. I mean, most of my dreams are kind of sporadic and crazy, and they jump around here and there, and it's, you're kind of exhausted once you actually wake up. This one was totally different. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it. And like I said, in every situation, the odds were always in my favor, to the point of just being humbly relaxed. But I'm going to finish up what I'm doing here, but I'll talk to you later. Bye. Good morning. Been here a couple hours already and took a break to watch the sunrise. It's going to be a beautiful day. There's not really a good position to look at it really in town. There's too much obstacles, but sometimes the obstacles get in the way, but we know that. We experience that in life. So I'll walk around here. I'll get to a lighter spot so it won't be so dark. Now you can see me. But anyway, I did some recording today, and I was kind of cool. I was learning a program, a studio program on my computer that kind of I can add reverb and all the good stuff to make it sound nice. I started to save it, kind of mix it down to play it for you, but the program locked up, so I lost the stuff. And normally there's a time that would have bothered me, but honestly, I'm so into enjoying the moment that I thoroughly enjoyed recording and playing around with the program and listening to it, until it froze. And that was enough for me. We've just got to enjoy the moment. But I'll talk to you later. Bye. Taking a little break in my van. Allergies are getting me, and sometimes that makes me a little ticky, but that's all right because it's still a good day. I did notice this morning, though, I got on Facebook and a little message popped up that said, you're acting as Robert Derrick Rich. Well, my first thought was, well, I have news for you. I am. And then I stopped. ... If I'm a spirit having a human experience, the spirit part of me is what's going to move on to eternity. And this is just a finite existence. It's like hardly nothing. And I doubt if my spirit has a name, it's Robert Derrick Rich. I've always pondered the correlation between the spirit and the flesh. Maybe I am just acting as Robert Derrick Rich. Well, thanks a lot, Facebook. Now I've got something else to ponder. But I'll talk at you later. Bye. I'm taking a little break a little earlier today, but let me tell you what I did. Yesterday was fairly labor intensive. I built like 3 hospital beds, cleaned a couple more, not counting a bariatric bed, and just a lot of heavy lifting. And I'm like half 112. I mean, I'm old enough to get a senior discount at McDonald's. So by the end of the day, I'm just wore out. So I leave about 30 minutes early. But when I wake up this morning, man, I didn't think I was going to get out of bed. So I just ached everywhere. I finally just told myself, okay, you're going to get up now and go to work early and start it, or else you're going to call in, because, I mean, that's my only 2 choices. So I'm like, they need me. I'm needed. So I get up, walk to the bathroom, kind of like I probably needed a walker, and started shaving and brushing my teeth. And of course it's 3 a.m. and I leave at 3:30 and get here at 4, clock in and start leaving. Now, I knew as soon as I started shaving and once I started brushing my teeth, all of a sudden the energy just zapped back in. It's like almost like I made the decision that I'm going to go anyway. And when I made that decision, all that pain just left. It was just gone. And so I get over here, and I've got so much stuff that I didn't know came in while I was gone that the dirty room was just absolutely full. So I got an early start and really hit at it. And I think they'll be surprised when they see how much is gone. Usually on days like that, the manager will come to me and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for the way we left it." And I'll just look at it like, I don't know what you're talking about. Must be worker elves. They came last night and helped. But anyway, I'll talk at you later. Bye. Just sitting out in my van taking a little break, being overwhelmed by the beauty of the cool breeze blowing against my cheek. It's wonderful. But I'll talk at you later. Bye. And continuing with the peace theme. Peace, peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father above. Reach over my spirit, forever I pray, in fathomless billows of love. Good morning. Been work here in, I don't know, 30-40 minutes or so, but had something on my mind and I'm just kind of going to get it off in hopes that it'll help me kind of clear my thoughts. But a few years back, I was working on Green River Road, and a colleague's husband brings in a couple to look at diabetic shoes. And one thing leads to another, and he thinks that Medicare's criteria for shoes that we're lying to him, and we just don't want to do it for some devious purposes, or we're doing a con job on him. So he takes off his shoe and starts slapping it on the counter. Well, I have flashes of every East Indian Parliament show that I ever seen where they take off their shoes and throw at each other. And I got a wrench in my hand, so I'm pretty sure I'm safe. But I guess I'd saw something like that yesterday on TV, and it brought that back. And I just relived that moment over and over, and usually with more violent outcomes than what initially happens. So I'm like, this has got to end. I've got to stop this. So I'm going to breathe. I'm going to let it out in this video and just say, here it is. It's in the air. And then sing peace. Think of something with peace. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Something like that. I'll sing that the rest of the day. And maybe that'll take that incident away, as long as, along with just blabbing about it. That makes me feel a little better. And if anybody wants to know why, the amygdala, according to my sister, produces stress hormones, and talking about it causes that to stop producing those stress hormones, and then you feel better, which I feel better already, which I didn't feel too bad anyway. Well, I did for the outcome the poor fella had afterwards, at least in my mind. But I'll talk at you later. Bye. Good morning. I clocked in really early this morning, like around 4:30-ish. I don't really have to be here till 6, but I wanted to get some stuff started. So I've already pulled Sleep East and fixing to take on a air mattress. But I wanted to, since I had talked before on conviction, and each one of us kind of has our own conviction, and Romans 14 talks about not going against that conviction. They'll call it anything done without faith is sin. One thing that I struggle with big time is my mouth, as far as I seem to accentuate the negative of people I see. And I really wish I didn't do that. And I'm going to work harder at not doing that, because sometimes I can't help but think that we plant the seeds of kind of the, how do you say, the freaks of society, especially down through history, when you see the evil that some people can do, that if that wasn't nurtured by the ones around them, just magnify them. Like, somebody will see somebody and was like, boy, that's a freaky little kid. And they that just accentuates their negatives, and pretty much a freaky little kid turns into a freaky little adult, and it escalates from there. I've got to stop doing that. Maybe a good example would be you're working with somebody who's incredibly lazy. We'll throw that out there. And you say, boy, that dude is lazy. Could he get any lazier? Well, yeah, if you're going to accentuate it, the next time you experience a situation with a guy, he's going to exhibit laziness beyond comprehension. From my history, from what I have witnessed. So I am truly going to try to stop doing that and accentuate people's positives, and maybe cultivate a better world. Who knows? But anyway, I'll talk at you later. Bye. I'm sitting out in my car taking a break. It's been kind of a busy day. Got a lot accomplished. I won't be too long before I'll be going home, but I just taken a break. And I've been thinking a lot about what I've seen on like billboards and stuff concerning churches and what has come of the term religion, because there's a stigma to it and people don't like it. So they'll say we're not about religion, we're about freedom. And I dig that. I understand what they're saying. There's something kind of soured about what we call religion. Dad always said religion in the Latin context means a return to bondage, and I understand that too. I'm not totally for sure. That's not how I identify with religion, but if that's what the Latin context is, he's just quoting that. But he said he doesn't preach religion, he preaches freedom. And that's what some of these billboards say. And that's cool, but my interpretation of religion is probably a little different. I think of it as somebody telling me what to believe, and I hate to be told what to do. So in that aspect, that's cool. I'm not after religion. I'm after, I don't know if freedom is quite the word I'm looking for, because I guess I can do anything, but I'm free to consider my thoughts carefully and weigh everything I do with judgment, kind of like the Bible says, work out your own salvation through fear and trembling. I'm not free to hurt people. I guess I could, if you want to say I'm free to do anything, but that's not where my heart is. So I'm free to exercise restraint and be cautious about what I say and what I think and what I do. I'm sometimes not very good at it because I got quite a temper, but I'm working on that. Yeah, I'll ponder that some more and maybe add to it later, but I'm going to go back to work, but I'll talk at you later. Bye. All right. Been at work an hour or so. I clocked in early. I left a little early the last couple of days, making up a little time. They're good about letting me have off if I'm not feeling well, but I'm feeling pretty good today. So I'm not sure what the difference was. You hear some say, well, the full moon can cause inflammation or whatever. I'm not for sure that doesn't make sense to me, but I never eliminate the possibility of anything. I just give it low probability when I do the math. So I'm glad and grateful that I'm feeling better, and I'll get back to it, and I may have something better, more productive to video later, but I'll talk at you later. Bye. Hey, I'm out here taking a break in my van, pondering perspective And I do that a lot just because of incompatibility factors I find with other people. And so I try to watch and see the things that they do from their perspective to try to figure out why they do what they do. And the best I can do is get kind of a general idea, maybe increase my empathy for what's going on their behalf. But I can't do it perfectly because I'm processing it from my perspective. No matter how I try to get into somebody's shoes, it's still being processed with my cognitive function, with my perspective. So I can only do so much. But I kind of see people that just can't believe that they're wrong in anything. And I know at times I've been accused of being I know it all, but I don't think they analyze what I'm actually saying. If I put it in perspective, sometimes when people get into an explanation, it's like kindergartners looking at a TV and they're all trying to explain how it works, how they can see their cartoons on that TV. And I'm standing back thinking, man, none of that makes sense. And because I say that, they'll say, oh, he's a know-it-all. But I would turn and say, no, I'm a kindergartner too. I don't understand how I can watch my favorite cartoons on this thing. But what you're saying doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not saying that I know, but why do you think you're so sure? So if that seems to me like the opposite of a know-it-all. But they do what they can with their cognitive function. They've rationalized it, and it makes sense to them, even though it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't matter. It's a perspective thing. It has to be. Another push for this is an individual self journey, but I don't know. What do I know? And I could possibly be wrong. But anyway, I'll let you go. Bye. I'm just taking a little break here at work. I'm kind of pondering the nature of things in my life, and being real grateful for the good times and the bad times, the courteous and the not so courteous, the different things that have made me what I am. Without the good or the bad, I'd be something different. And sometimes I think about unproductively, the family friends that we have in the ministry, and why nobody's given me a call and said, hey, come join me. And if I'm not careful, it just gets into a negative thought process of why this didn't happen. But in actuality, I'm glad it didn't happen. Everything's turned out just the way it's supposed to be. I know I'm on a self journey, and I ponder that probably more than most, just because of the symptoms of Tourette's keeps me isolated. And when you're alone, you have a lot of time to self-reflect and project your thoughts inward. And I'm convinced that just about everything that is outward is just a distraction to keep us from looking inward. But anyway, I'm going to open the door here because we got Medline coming in. I'm going to help them out, but I'll catch you later. Bye. Good morning. Got some things started at work and took a little break, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all these videos that's in this format here with the phone and put them all together in like a long run and post it on YouTube for that channel. I haven't been doing that. This has all just been for Facebook. And I probably got 400 videos or something on that, and I've got it grouped in different playlists, from thoughts to journals to artwork to music and games. And so, I just don't get a lot of views, and I'm not really doing it for that or to even build that channel. My thoughts are future generation, families, I'm gone, somebody has a piece of artwork, and if they look me up, they may run across that and know a little bit more about me. So that's kind of where I'm taking it. So I don't get discouraged if nobody views them. It doesn't really matter to me. But I'll do that, put them all together. Yesterday was a little bit of a ticky day, but I'm kind of developing more of a strategy for that too, as far as the best I can, not just kind of going with the flow. I always said, but you'd have to be crazy not to try to suppress that. But suppressing them kind of is uncomfortable. So, it's kind of looking at it as it is what it is and trying to relax in it and keep up that feeling of peace that I've been hanging on to for the last month or so. And it kind of worked. It kind of, had a ticky day, but kind of is what it is. So I'll let you go and I'll talk at you later. Bye. Good morning. Been at work about 3 hours already, taking a little break, enjoying the morning and the sun. I'd made a video earlier, but I didn't post it. I was a little ticky today, but I've learned to kind of rest in it, and it doesn't bother me near as much, but I can tell that sometimes articulating the thoughts in my head becomes a little more difficult, and that kind of gets to me a bit because, I try to be articulate. So on those days that I can't, I will enjoy the moment. Good morning. I haven't been to work long, but I just finished cleaning my first concentrator, and continuing the line of experience probably being as much a legitimate reality as material, if not more. I consciously took the effort of experiencing that. So I'm experiencing cleaning filthy concentrator to the best of my ability, and that experience is kind of oddly satisfying. I know, it's kind of weird, right? You're thinking, Derek, you're going crazy. Well, I'm telling you, the experience of that is also quite fascinating. It's a wonderful experience. So I'm going to keep experiencing everything I can. And I'm going to look around the corner because I swear I just saw somebody go down this hall, but they're not there now. So, talk to you later. Good morning. Just taking a little break, a little ticky today. I felt it coming for the last few days, but today's like a kind of a climax, and it's a little annoying, and nothing can really get my joy because I'm just going to enjoy this morning. Cleaned a lot of pretty rough stuff and got it done. Oh, sometimes like that's a tick, and I'll lick my chin and then realize that I need to get better tasting aftershave. I don't know how much of that I can edit on this phone. So if I can't, then it is what it is. If anybody knows me surely won't be offended. Popsicle sticks. Okay, yeah, it could have been a little worse. Anyway, I do this with hopes of just calming the ticks down a little bit, letting me focus. But I was thinking about what I've learned through all this, and it has given me more compassion over things that people do that maybe would typically irritate me, but I think, well, maybe they can't help that no more than I can help a tick, and it's completely out of their control. And then if I kind of look at it like that, then I can definitely relate. It's like making something that's unrelatable relatable by pushing it into a circumstance that you can relate to. So for that lesson, I wouldn't have give up this for anything. And as far as what I've got, because I've been diagnosed with late onset Tourette's, but it's not like a genetic Tourette. Somebody has when a kid. Mine's from an infection that's went to the brain that's caused inflammation that, when my brain kind of gets inflamed because of my immune system going rogue, it does that kind of stuff. so if I can keep the inflammation down. But could be allergies, could be a number of things that's causing inflammation. But anyway, I'm going to let you go before I get too long, and maybe it'll get better. If not, I'll just keep on going. Bye. Good morning. Been here a little bit, so I want to tell you how my day started. Because I get up really early. I'm probably up 4 or 5 hours before I even go to work, and I'm at work early. But typically, I don't feel like what I call static pain. If I'm not moving, I'm not feeling nothing. But that's not to say that, if I've got a sore back or my knees hurt while I'm in the process of moving or bending over or trying to get up off the floor, it's like, oh, I'll know that I overdid it. And here I move a lot of stuff around. So this morning I'm kind of, up piddling around the house. I'm pretty sore, and my daughter's up, and we talk a little bit in the living room, and I'm like, I don't feel too good. I'm going to go lay down. Well, as soon as I go in my bedroom, lay down, I set the alarm for a couple hours, knowing that I'm not going to sleep that long because I've already had coffee. I'll just probably more cat nap than anything. I lay down and I get this strong tingling behind my knees and behind my lower back. Not anything that hurts, mind you. It actually feels good. Maybe a medical professional might say, uh-oh, that's a sign of this or that. But my perception is I'm taking it as rejuvenation. I'm thinking, boy, that feels pretty good. And as soon as that's what I took it as, it was almost like an arm just went across my right shoulder and just kind of down. And again, I perceive that as just, something holding me. And I slept for an hour or so, but I got up and I'm moving around totally fine. No more pain. That just left a real comforting feeling. Now, all these things that happened to me seem to have a comforting after effect as far as a feeling. Unconditional love, compassion, empathy. This was just sheer plain comfort. So, yeah, that's where that went. But I'll blab at you later. Bye.